My journey to ditch Google. Can you really go off the grid? Ever wondered how intertwined Google really is with our daily lives? I've always admired the de-Google movement, a push to remove Google's shadow from our gadgets and online routines. But just how doable is it for an average user to start scrubbing the tech giant's influence from their world? I decided to find out, and spoiler alert, it's way more complicated than I thought. My house is basically a Google playground. There's a Nest Mini in the corner, several Android phones and tablets, a smart TV, and even my car connects to Android Auto. Google isn't just lurking behind the scenes, it's practically living with me. Naturally, I wondered if I could cut the cord, at least partially, and see how much I could truly de-Google my existence. So over a few days, I dove into replacing Google apps and services with alternatives, all while keeping track of my experience. Turns out, getting rid of Google is a marathon, not a sprint, and it's much tougher than I anticipated. What's de-Google, really? De-Googling means stripping away Google's influence, sometimes just swapping out a few apps, sometimes going full-on custom ROM and self-hosting. Many aim for this for privacy reasons, trying to regain control over their data. I wasn't trying to go that far, my goal was more about seeing how far I could go before the hassle outweighed the benefits. Here's the truth, I didn't succeed completely. I still had some Google background processes running at the end, and I'll tell you why later. But I learned a lot along the way, and more importantly, just how embedded Google is in everything. The challenge of cutting Google out. From Gmail, Calendar, Photos to Maps, these apps touch almost every part of my digital life. Replacing them wasn't about finding better apps but about seeing how much inconvenience I could endure. Switching Gmail to Thunderbird was simple, Calendar went to Business Calendar 2, Maps to Maps.me. These apps are well made, but I still missed some features, like Google Maps navigation convenience or Gmail smart composing tricks. Still, I managed. Surprisingly, Google's Play Store wasn't a big hurdle. Many of my purchased apps were already installed on my Galaxy S24 FE, so I didn't have to face losing them completely. For other app sources, I used Aurora Store and F-Droid, which worked surprisingly well. But some services, like Android Auto, turned out to be too essential. Dropping them would have made driving significantly less safe and less enjoyable. No way I was giving up Spotify controls and navigation. Cloud storage, photos, and sharing. Google Drive and Photos are deeply integrated into my and my partner's workflow, sharing the storage, backing up memories, and managing files. Cutting out Drive wasn't possible without disrupting shared access. Photos is easier to replace for viewing images but not seamlessly for backups. Alternatives like Plex Photos or Image aren't quite ready for prime time without more setup. Media and entertainment. YouTube, the giant in my entertainment universe. Finding a decent alternative was a headache. I started listening to downloaded podcasts and used internet radio, but missing YouTube was real. Streaming from other services just can't replicate the vast universe Google's platform provides, and my smart TV always flips onto YouTube when my partner arrives home. Wear OS and fitness tracking. My Galaxy Watch 4 is a part of my health routine, providing sleep data and body metrics. Ditching it would mean starting from scratch with Garmin, which isn't practical. Wear OS has grown on me, becoming pretty vital for my daily health tracking. The unbreakable essentials. Some services I simply cannot give up. Find My Device is one, an absolute necessity for me, offering peace of mind in case my phone goes rogue. Alternatives exist, but Google's service is just too ingrained in my peace of mind. The easier wins. Certain Google apps and AI features proved surprisingly disposable. Features like Gemini or Google Assistant are nice-to-haves, but aren't essential for me. Using ChatGPT or Perplexity for news and research filled the void seamlessly. The surprisingly painless switch. Switching search engines from Google to DuckDuckGo on my browsers was almost too easy. Dropping Chrome in favor of browsers like Vivaldi feels natural for me, especially since I prefer Chromium-based options. So what about the launchers and widgets? Ditching Pixel Launcher isn't difficult. I replaced it with Microsoft Launcher, which actually feels more customizable. Google's widgets were replaced by alternatives, although moving Google Keep Notes to Notion was a hassle. Gboard. I've used better keyboards before, and switching to a privacy-focused option makes sense if you want to go all in. Is total de-Google for me? Honestly, after all this, I have to admit, I appreciate the vision. But in practice, I value convenience more than absolute privacy. The truth is, Google's convenience for my everyday life outweighs the privacy concerns for now. It's a balance I've made, accepting some level of Google influence because it simplifies my routines. Final thoughts for the aspiring de-Googlers. If you're thinking of starting this journey, don't do it all at once. Tackle it step by step. Uninstall apps you don't need, find suitable alternatives, consider hosting some services yourself, or even flash a custom ROM if you're tech-savvy. And wherever you feel overwhelmed, communities like r/degoogle on Reddit are full of tips, tricks, and support. In the end, just remember, moderation rocks. Completely removing Google isn't necessary, or even desirable, for everyone. Sometimes, just controlling what you allow into your life is enough.